Imagine this for a second. You're sitting at a single desk, and you have total control. The eyes of an entire stadium or a whole campus.
It's basically the closest you can get to technological omniscience.
Exactly. And you usually picture, this huge, chaotic control room with monitors everywhere.
Wall-to-wall screens, racks of servers humming away, the whole 9 yards.
Right. But today, we're looking at something that, well, just sits on the corner of your desk. We're unpacking the DVDO Camera-Ctl-Mini.
An IP PTZ camera controller.
And I have to say, the mini part of that name really throws me off, especially when you look at the specs.
Don't let the size fool you. I think our mission here is to really understand how this tiny accessory is actually a command center for, massive video operations.
So it's bridging that gap between a physical joystick and a huge digital network.
That's it.
Okay, let's just get right to the scale then, because I read this and I have to ask, is this even practical? It says it can control up to 1,024 cameras.
That is the number. 1,024 distinct feeds.
See, to me, that just sounds like a recipe for a repetitive strain injury. How do you actually manage over 1,000 cameras with one tiny LCD screen and 20 buttons? It feels like a UI nightmare.
It would be if you were, say, wiring them all individually. But the key here is it's all happening over IP.
So it's networked.
Exactly. One operator can handle that volume from a single remote spot. You're not limited by physical ports on the unit itself.
I see it supports the ONVIF protocol. Now, I know that's standard, but does it actually work seamlessly with that many cameras? Or do you get glitches when you start mixing brands?
Well, that's really the biggest selling point. ONVIF is basically the universal translator for this kind of hardware. It prevents vendor lock-in.
So you're not stuck buying one brand of camera just because you have this controller?
You're not. And for the setup, it also supports auto discovery.
Okay, what does that do?
The controller just sweeps the local network and pulls in the cameras automatically. It saves you from having to, manually type in 1,000 different IP addresses.
That's a relief.
And you can even configure the device list when the controller is technically offline. So you can prep the whole map of your cameras before they're even live.
Okay, so you've got 1,000 eyes on the network. You still need a way to, look around. And that's where the hardware comes in. It lists a 4D joystick. I'm assuming the fourth dimension is in time travel. Is it a twist or a button?
It's a twist. So you have your standard up, down, left, and right.
Sure.
The third dimension is twisting the joystick to zoom in and out. And the fourth is the confirm function, which is usually a push-down action on the stick itself.
That actually makes a lot of sense for tracking. If you're following a person or a ball in a game, you don't want to take your hand off the stick to hit a separate button.
Exactly. It's all about fluid, intuitive operation. You're physically driving the camera, not fumbling with a mouse. And it's not just movement. You're also managing focus, iris, and even cruise functions.
But let's go back to the workflow. Even with a great joystick, if I have 1,024 cameras, scrolling through them one by one to find the front door camera seems impossible.
You wouldn't do that. No, that's where the presets were absolutely key.
Okay.
The device lets you save 10 position presets for every single camera.
So wait, let me do the math. 1,024 cameras, 10 presets each. That's over 10,000 specific save shots.
Right. It turns chaos into a library. You're not manually panning over to find the podium. You just hit a button and the camera snaps right to the podium preset.
But again, my brain goes to that tiny screen,
Yeah.
setting up 10,000 shots on that thing.
But here's the workflow hack.
Yeah.
You don't program it on the tiny screen.
Okay, how about it?
You use the web-based GUI, you log in from a laptop, map out all your cameras, configure all the settings there. You separate the setup from the actual operation.
I see. So the physical box is just for the driving part.
Purely for operation, yeah.
That makes so much more sense. So what does a piece of gear like this cost?
The MSRP is listed at around $1,299.
$1,299. So about the price of a mid-range laptop.
True, but you have to think about the context. What are you replacing?
A whole control room.
You're replacing a rack of servers, a mixing board, maybe a whole crew of camera operators that used to cost 50 grand. You're condensing a broadcast truck's worth of control into a $1,300 box.
It really is a game changer for a single operator.
It is. And, if we zoom out a bit, it raises a really interesting question about the whole experience for the user.
How do you mean?
Well, we're moving into an era where one person, sitting alone, can swivel 1,000 different viewpoints instantly with a flick of the wrist.
It does make you wonder. When you give one person that much centralized power, does it start to feel less like security and more like, I don't know, a video game?
A question for another day, maybe?
Indeed. Thanks for listening to this deep dive, everyone.